parables of the Lotus Sutra, the jewel in the robe. A long time ago, there was a poor man without a family, wearing an old robe, struggling with his daily meals and leading a destitute life. One day, while he was in the city, a dignified gentleman approached him, saying, "It's me. Do you not remember me? I just moved here. Come visit me." It turned out that this gentleman was the poor man's long-lost childhood best friend. Seeing how destitute his friend was, the gentleman decided to bring him home. Upon arrival, the poor man was stunned by his friend's spacious home and servants. Delicious food and wine were served, and soon the poor man became drunk and fell asleep snoring. Instead of waking his sleeping friend up, the gentleman requested for a paper and pen from his servant to leave his friend with a note informing him of his absence. Before leaving, the gentleman sewed a priceless gem in the seam of the poor man's sleeve and bid farewell. The poor man woke up the next day only to find that his friend was nowhere in sight. He then left for a neighboring country after a hearty meal. Ever since leaving the gentleman's home, the poor man continued struggling to get by with a meal. There were some jobs, but the wages were insufficient. Despite that, exchanging the meager wage for simple food and clothes was enough for the poor man. While daydreaming, he suddenly thought of his friend, the gentleman who helped him. The poor man thought to himself, "If only I had a big home, peaceful meal and delicious wine. That would make me so happy. Being deprived of food and clothes are definitely not happiness to me." The poor man returned to his home village and became poorer. One day, he met the gentleman again while idling in the city. The gentleman said, "Look at you! What happened?" The poor man replied, "I have been starving for days. I am so hungry." The gentleman brought his poor friend home again and fed him a meal. He also wondered why the poor man remained in poverty despite having received the priceless gem. At this moment, the gentleman looked at the poor man's sleeves and realized that the stitches hiding the jewel were still intact, which could only mean that the poor man did not know about the hidden jewel. Later, the gentleman took the hidden jewel from the poor man's robe and placed it on the poor man's hand. Tears flowing, the poor man felt he could finally escape poverty with that jewel and lead a better life. And so, the story ended. This story was one of the 7 parables of the Lotus Sutra, the jewel hidden in the robe. The good friend wanted to help the poor friend by sewing a priceless jewel inside a robe and left immediately after. However, the poor friend was unaware of the existence of the jewel and still struggled in poverty until he reunited with his friend, only to find out that the hidden jewel had always been there. The priceless jewel represents everyone's innate Buddhahood, while the robe represents the depths of life. In every depth of life, there is a precious treasure, which is our Buddhahood that represents the realm of absolute happiness. Therefore, wherever we chant to the Gohonzon every day for the sake of Kosen Rufu and Gakkai activities, we can definitely call forth our Buddha nature.